Whoa. What is up? What do y'all think of that new super short, quick intro music? Kind of dies off pretty quickly, but I kind of like it. Welcome back to Gearing Up. My name is Greg, and this is the podcast where we talk about everyday carry, gear, whatever else is going on. Sometimes we do random episodes. Sometimes we have very structured topics. It's been a little bit since we spoke last, and that we'll get to in just a second. First, I want to mention, normally I'm joined by my wife, April. It got a little late. I got sidetracked in the garage, was working on a knife, and that's how that goes. And so here I am. It is almost 9 p.m. She's already in bed. So I had an episode planned. We're going to put a pin in it. We're going to come back, and we're actually going to do a listener/follower suggested episode. So I put a feeler out there today, and I just said, hey, what would you like me to talk about? And I got a really interesting suggestion, and I don't know that I know I haven't done like a full episode dedicated to this, and I've mentioned a few of these guys that I'm going to talk about. But Raven the Pirate, if you're not following Raven_the_pirate, you need to go follow them right now. Sam has been killing it lately with all of his posts. They're all super creative, and he just hit over 1,000 followers. So he deserves way more than that. His content has been really, really good. So love seeing what he's doing. Anyways, he messaged me and said, how about leatherwork? There are some amazing makers out there doing amazing things, from EDC organizers to wallets and bags. What do you have? What do you like? What makers can you recommend? So I thought this was a really interesting premise/idea to start on and just kind of see where we go. And I wanted to talk about the few that come to mind right out of the gate, and then maybe open it up to you guys and say, hey, shoot me a message and let me know if there are any makers that you see are really killing it, and maybe we can give them a shout out, or we can do a part 2 on this idea of, leatherwork. And just to start, I've got, I'm like going through them in my head right now. I don't have a list, but I have 3 or 4 or 5 that I really try to stick with, and then there's just so many, and normally when you say so many, it's like overwhelming, but they're all so good that it's tough to choose, because you're not going to make a bad choice. You just, at the end of the day, you kind of have to decide where you want to go. And so I wanted to shout out my, top 3, 4, 5 makers / companies, whatever you want to call them, and kind of go through why I like them, my experiences with them, and then maybe a little bit of what I look for. Actually, let's flip-flop that. Let's talk a little bit about what I look for in like a leather. How do I integrate leather in my everyday carry, and what do I look for? So 99 times out of 100, my wallet is going to be some basic kind of card wallet with a gear slot or 2 on the front. And what I mean by that is, a lot of times I'll have a small pry bar or a small Swiss Army knife or something to that effect that I can just slip in the front of it, and it doesn't add too much bulk, but it also doesn't rattle around in my pocket. And 99 times out of 100, that's my wallet of choice, is something that can handle 5 or 6 cards at most. I mean, I have 2 IDs, 2, 3. So yeah, it's probably 5 cards total that the wallet has to hold. And then after that, I rarely have cash. I don't ever have any other cards. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. But there's so much more out there from a day-to-day basis that I use / could use. So just going through kind of my collection of leather, I've got a couple wallets, probably 3 that are leather that I really rotate between. I've got a Field Notes notebook cover. I've got a business card holder. I've got an AirPods case. I've got my key fob has a little leather dangly on it, which is kind of like a no-name. Gonna get back to that. I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I have that's leather? I don't think so. At least not that's like jumping out at me. I'm sure that I do, but yeah, I can't think of it. Um, so yeah, let's just jump into. Well, okay, I guess I should go through like, okay, so I have a field notes notebook cover that holds a field notes notebook, but I've also got some card slots in there. If I ever wanted to use it as a giant jumbo wallet, that's definitely a possibility. Sorry, I'm not working in the garage. I'm thirsty. Um, what else? Yeah, so I guess the field notes, and then like the AirPods. Anyways, I'm rambling now. But in a nutshell, it's usually like a wallet. I've never been a huge fan of like full leather bags. I love like canvas bags with some leather accents. Nutsack makes a great bunch of bags. Shout out to them. They've been supporter of the website, the content for a while now. I'm trying to think, bag wise. Now, I mean, you know, my wife has a leather purse, but that's beside the point. Yeah, I mean, I don't really care for full leather backpacks or bags. You know, I like a good leather wallet, and that's pretty much it. I'm not much into like bracelets and all that. Anyways, so let's jump into the makers, and if you've been listening slash following along, these should not be a surprise, or most of them shouldn't be a surprise. I know I've mentioned a couple of them on the podcast, and I know I've mentioned more than a couple of them on my Instagram feed and on the blog. So these should not be new, but starting off, probably one of the first companies I found when I first got into EDC. They do a great job on Etsy with their pictures and their shop. It's all super clean, and that's Hitch and Timber. And Hitch and Timber has been um, one of probably the most consistent companies that I've seen. They're always cranking out really great stuff, always trying some new things, and it's a small company. They're based. God, I don't want to lie. I think they're up in New England. I don't know for sure. Oh God, I'm so sorry if I'm wrong at that. But yeah, they're I know they're up northeast somewhere, and they've just been. I know when I first found them, I got a. I'm trying to think what the first one I got. So I know I had the. I don't know the proper names of them, so I apologize. But the first one I had was it had some card slots on the back, like two sets of horizontal card slots, and then on the front there was a slip for a field notes book, and then a slot for like a small knife or a pry bar and a pen. And I carried a field notes all the time, and I had my copper Keras Customs retract, and that's when I needed a wallet for it. And I found that one, and it was a little on the pricey side for what I was used to. Now looking back, I'm like, it's perfectly rational. I think it was like $80, but for something of that caliber, that's extremely reasonable now. And they've always got a really great style. They always use really really nice materials, and the folks they're just a pleasure to work with. So I can't recommend them enough. And if you've got a pretty streamlined setup as far as what you carry every day, they probably have a wallet or a gear pouch caddy, whatever you want to call it, that will work for you. And they're all handmade. They're all they use really really nice materials. So I can't recommend Hitch and Timber. Oh my God, am I like stopped up? I can't recommend Hitch and Timber enough. They're fantastic. And the next one, I'm trying to think of who I want it in what order. These are in no particular order, so that's just to be fair. But the next person slash company that I want to shout out is AC Made. Now let me look that up and make sure, because yeah. So on Instagram, he's AC_made, and that's Alonzo Caldera. He is insanely talented. And, when it comes to like gear slips and stuff, he makes some of the most creative ones. He does belts, wallets, gear slips, lighter covers, belt buckles. I'm just going through his feed right now. And his, I guess you'd call it specialty, is like carving and painting leather. I mean, the last thing he posted is a Louis Vuitton keychain, which is super cool. But if you scroll through his feed, you'll see that he does a lot of carved and painted leather slips. And I personally have, I know right now I've got at least two, but I've had, I don't know how many others in the past that he's made, and they're just always so detailed and so on point. And I mean, I give him kind of a vague idea, and he just brings it to life. And so, huge shout out to Alonzo and all the work that he does. And he's always been super patient, and because I'm a picky customer and I'm kind of an annoying customer, and so he's always been really cool. And so, if you have, like, I know Scuba Steve's, he makes a ton of slips for those, and a few other openers. He makes a lot of slips, but if there's something you like heck, I had Nacho Steve forever, and I had him make a nacho slip, and he actually made like a one of those ballpark container of nachos. Like it's insane the work that he does. So huge shout out to Alonzo, incredibly talented individual, and again, I can't recommend him enough. The third I guess that I want to shout out two Houston area makers, and I'm combining them not because they're not both amazing and deserve. I've never been a customer of them, but I have seen a ton of their stuff, and they're both Houston area based, and so they're Texans, so that makes them even cooler. And that is Heights Leather Company. So they have this cool little house logo, which is great. But he does a lot of Horween, Cordova shell. I don't know if those are the right terms, but his edges are super nice, polished, candied, burnished. I don't know what the word is, but he just his attention to detail is insane. And so there's not enough. And you go to Instagram, you go to somebody's profile, and you can see they're followed by blah 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 blah, and 7 others or 100 others or whatever. Usually, when I find a maker and they're pretty popular, like there's a ton of and 250 others. Like, okay, so we have a ton of a bunch of the people that I follow also follow them. But these guys, they're at 2,300 followers. They deserve way more than that. So jump on and follow Heights Leather Company. And the other is another Houston area one, and that is Bear Cub Leather Goods. Again, another one, they've got over 12,000 followers, but not a ton of folks in the EDC community, which is surprising. I would think that more people would have jumped on by now. But I know they've partnered up with Rustic EDC before, just doing like a giveaway. I'm trying to remember. But, I mean, they have got some insane looking stuff. Again, I've never been a customer, but I would love to try some of their stuff out one day. And I mean, wallets, bags, notebook covers, insanely cool stuff. So huge shout out to them, and definitely some good accounts to keep an eye on. And number 5 on the list, I think, is where we're at. And before I get to number 5, I think if you know me at all, you already know who this is, but there's names that come to mind, like Greg Stevens. He does insane work with leather. Rambler Made is another one. So his name is Peter. He's less than 500 followers, but he does some really cool work. Again, haven't been a customer, but I'd love to check out his stuff. But he's got some cool key danglers and some slim, like, minimalist wallets. His pictures are awesome. His grid is super on point, but his work also looks really awesome. And I've seen a couple folks doing mail call posts, and it looks like he does like a typewriter letter and signs it personalized for each person. That's insane. I don't know how you keep that up if you get 4 million followers, but you're doing amazing, so keep it up. I'm trying to think if there's anybody else that I'm leaving out that's really stood out to me lately. Let me search. I'm searching, so don't hate me. Nope. Yeah, this is one. So I shouted this guy out on my page the other day, and we got to chatting briefly. But RockRoack, I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing it. It's ROAC_customs. He makes some really cool slips and sheaths. And again, his like tooling and stitching, it all looks just super clean. And again, I've not been a customer, but it looks like he's got some. And I love when I see like packaging on point. That to me is a super cool thing. It's not much, not necessary, but it's always cool to see. And he's got some cool, like, oh man, I need one of their keychains. That's cool. And so the last person that I want to talk about leather-wise, again, if you followed it all along at all, they've been a sponsor of the podcast. They've been a huge supporter of my work, and I have been a customer. Oh God, I don't even know if Sam had 200 followers when I started talking to him. But the last person I'm going to recommend, and someone that's a good friend and um, just an amazing person to work with, and insanely driven individual, is Black Cross Leather. All of the leather stuff that I was mentioning earlier, with the exception of maybe one or two things, was made by Sam. He, I reached out to him to make a slip one time, and he had never done it before. And so I was like, well, I can give you measurements. So I sent him a bunch of pictures. He made a wooden dummy of the opener or pry bar that I was gonna have. Like, he cut it out of wood to make sure that it would fit right. Like, it just blew me away. And there have been things where Sam and I have, hey, I want to try this or that, and we go back and forth and we try all kinds of things, and it works or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't work, he tries again, or if it doesn't work, he makes it right, or if it's not quite what I expected, he fixes it. And that to me, you know, is one of the reasons why I've loved working with Sam. But he's also, I've watched him grow and change and experiment and do more, and it's just been awesome to see. And I love the success that he's having, and just all the, he posts. He made a bunch of custom guitar straps the other day. It's just like the fact that he's doing stuff like that is so cool to me. So I love seeing Sam's work. I have one, two, three. I have 4 or 5 different wallets from Sam. 3 or 4, maybe. I don't remember. That I have. I don't really rotate between them because there's one that he just got so right one time, and you guys have seen it on my feed. It's the Autumn Harvest brown leather. Oh, my phone's dead. Yep, that's why. I was trying to wake it back up. But it's the Autumn Harvest brown leather with cream stitching. It looks totally different now than when I got it, because it's just been carried and abused and beaten and stretched and all that for all these months or years or however long I've had it. And he's always been really great at customizing. If he's actually working on another slip for a piece of gear right now. I have one for a thicker Coke cap lifter, but now I have a thinner one, and so it doesn't fit quite right. And so I didn't want it slipping in and out, and so he's making me one that's a little bit more snug. And I'm going to use the older cap lifter slip for something else, because it just fits it's weird. I don't know what's going on with it. But anyway, Sam's stuff is top notch. He is, within the last, I don't know, like maybe it's been more than 6 months this year. I keep forgetting it's October. But I want to say it's been over 6 months, but he does not have a day job any longer, and that is his bread and butter. And so it's awesome to see him really taking that and running with it. And as far as I know, I mean, he's growing, and he's getting business, and he's succeeding, and it's well deserved, because his work is insanely good. So yeah, can't recommend Sam enough. Huge shout out to him again for all the support that he's given me in the past. But again, he's oh, hang on, we're getting close to the end here, and I don't want to. Sorry. Okay. We're not getting close to the end, but like we're getting close to where I set all the outro music, which I don't even know if it's gonna work. Oh, nope. Just kidding. Nope. Anyways, I guess that's my cue to wrap it up. Again, thanks for the Raven the Pirate, Sam. Thank you for the idea. And if you guys have any great leather worker people, please let me know. I'd love to go check them out. But that's it for this episode. Whoa, I definitely have to edit that. So sorry. Be sure to subscribe, tell your friends about us, and don't go deaf at my new techno. And thanks for subscribing. Peace.